Hmm. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, starshine. Nope.
I always think of the was it the Viagra commercial? Good morning, good morning.
And welcome to our show.
That's right. We'll start it right there. We're gonna anchor it with
Just
that.
let's go right into it. Let's go right into it. So, the new topic on Are They Finding You has really changed very quickly.
That's right. It's all about pivoting.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. If it's the first time you've joined us here, welcome. Welcome. My name is Kim Skirmer. I'm a business development coach. And a lot of the structure that I do is that pre work, that helping you find the calm so you can create, align, lead, and master. And this is Sean. And Sean
Hey.
is the automation guy, the doer of cool things. And he helps you get clear. So he helps you audit your stuff, he helps you organize your systems, and he helps you get growing. So that is with consistency and all these messaging coming together. And that's a big part of today because this is a real life case that Sean and I have been working on.
hmm It's
I'm
gonna be a
excited.
good one.
Did I do your intro okay?
It was perfect.
Thank you. I'm trying. I'm trying to be like the cool kids. Okay, we're on our sixth one. So this is really great and fantastic. You can find us again on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and on Facebook, streaming every Monday at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. So apparently I was really bored yesterday while I was here working on Sunday, having way too much fun. And Sean, this morning, just before our session, he sent me a song of this old McDonald had a farm. So we'll have to share it in the replay. I tried to load it up quick enough, but I couldn't do it fast enough. So I guess I'm not that quick. But this really is so interesting, and I love having fun with this because there are all these things that we are doing. And my favorite part is, with Google here and ChatGPT there, here, Siri there, query everywhere, an advisor in a hurry can say that well, but it's so true, right? We're querying all the time, we're prompting all the time, and we're doing it in a rush. And we're not really realizing what it actually takes to build a website because you can build a website now for nothing, right, Sean?
Oh, absolutely. You can build it within minutes.
Minutes. Minutes. Doesn't mean it's great,
No.
right? But you can do it in minutes. And there will always be and always have to be this human intervention in the beginning. And I talk a lot about brain, LLM, or AI brain. So what we do is we go through this whole entire process of the advisor first has to figure out, or the firm, that, okay, I need an improvement. Then we work together, we break everything down, and it's about 3 months worth of really big work. And then we start using the automation systems that we have. And we have this incredible vaults where we have all of this data, all of these incredible prompts to help give you your branding, your messaging, your websites, your all of that stuff all at once. And Sean comes in now, and
hmm
then he has this intervention of we do the fine tuning and the pieces that it all makes sense. So brain, AI, and brain. That's the way it works. So we're going to walk through a real client website. I have coached the client and his team, and I have taken his whole entire website itself and put it in a format for Sean to be able to now say, okay, this is what we got to automate, this is the website we've got to build, and then this is what we're missing, tweaking it beyond my capabilities because I know just enough to be dangerous when it comes to websites. I like to play a lot because that's just the way it goes. So here we go. We are going to call this company ABC Financial. When you are sitting listening here, I want you to jot down something on a notepad beside you to note. So when you see parts of the website, the pages that we've captured in blue, that's talking about SEO, so search engine. If it's in a white, it's answer engine. And if it's in pink, it's a generative engine optimization. Okay, so we are going and breaking this website down page by page. And this is in the format that Sean receives from me so he can do his magic. Sound
hmm
good, Sean?
Absolutely. And I'm sure there's
Cool.
people that are watching this have never seen AEO or GEO before. Hopefully they've heard of SEO, but
Yeah.
um,
There's so much, and I think the best way to explain, and I think that's important, what we do really well is, so when you're thinking SEO, think about high level, right? Think
mhm.
about that kind of part about answer high level, right? And if you think about AEO, that's a teachable moment, right? So when you're teaching someone something, and then GEO, that's really finite, and that's a quotable moment where your brand, your copy, your voice comes up. Is that kind of the best way to explain it?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. See, I know enough to be dangerous. Okay, the navigation bar, we ignore this all the time, don't we? So on this navigation bar, ABC Financials, the company's name, of course, that's not the real name, but instead of having that home services about contact us, I completely changed the phrasing and the wording. So the reason why is that home services about contact us, it's invisible to AI because it's so general. It's the norm, right? It's the sea of norm. and you can't stand out in the sea of norm. So this navigation bar just itself communicates the whole entire firm philosophy. So as I said, blue is SEO, so searching the company's name, right? Pink is that clear, quotable positioning. So using the language, the problem instead of services, who we serve, about, right? It's so specific in their language. And then the AEO, the answer optimization, right? We have processes and we have about the founder. So what do you think here, Sean?
I think it makes complete sense, because a lot of times when you look at somebody that's going online to search, they're not just going in and typing in a company name, they're asking a question or they're stating the problem they have. So what the search engine has to do, or the AI has to do, is understand who's the person asking the question, what's the problem, where is there a solution out there, and it may be follow-up questions of like, then what do I do next, right? So by doing this, the who we serve will help it identify, are they a match? What's the problem that this person has given that search? Okay, well, there's a match there. And then if they ask follow-up questions about like what's next, there's where the process comes in. So you're basically just connecting all the dots for these search engines or AI bots or large language models that are out there indexing your site. Because like you said, about and services and everything, it doesn't necessarily tell it the signals it needs to.
It doesn't, we forget that we're prompting again, right? So we've always been prompting. We're just prompting a different engine in a different world. And the more specific and stand out we can become, the better. Because when I do a first draft, right, I do 3 different drafts. And you see with me, I do one from the firm's perspective, from a client-facing perspective, and from the founder, the owner's perspective, right? And we take the best of all the both worlds and we put it together. So even just using that language of who we serve is psychologically very fitting for their ideal client target market. And using process instead of about, it just helps, and it's more inclusive. Like, we're going to do this and we're going to work on together, because any beneficial relationship has to have a buyer on both sides. You've got to buy into them and they've got to buy into you. So the more you can hint with language and imprint with language, the better you are, right? So when we look at this navigation, the 4 link bars that earn all 3 channels. So just the navigation link on the own. I love the way we put things together, Sean. I'm very proud at showing this background work on why we do what we do and why it takes 3 months before we get to here. Because everyone just expects, like, just use AI, Kim, it's overnight. When we have this, the links in the bar hit every channel we need to know, SEO, GEO, and AEO, whew, that's a big flex, right? All right, taking a look at it. So ABC Financial, the brand name, the GEO for the problems, the AEO for the process, right? And then begin the conversation on even how we use that word. So you could really see it on the other slide, but it's just said of, book conversation, you kind of in the pink there, it's begin a conversation. So it's not book a call. It's a different type of voice and a call to action. So all of these tonal changes are really important and very imprinting, right? Yeah. Yep. Okay, I want you to play on this one. I know I'm throwing you right away in the hot seat, but the most indexed copy on the page. It's kind of interesting. So it's actually the hero page that we're looking at here, the first screen. So what pops out at you?
I mean, for me, looking at this, the numbers don't. To me, it's the part of the business, the wealthy, and this is looking at this from, the client that is finding this page, right?
Yeah.
And it's what do they want, right? What when they've come to this page, we're just pretty much assuming at this point they've asked a question. whatever they were asking, gave it a result, and they then clicked to come to here, right?
Mhm.
So now what they're doing is they're like trying to validate, what did I ask? What did it tell me? Does this match, right?
Yeah.
What I want, right? So that's that part, and this stuff usually shows up, near the top of the page. Like you said, in the hero page and that part of it. So you only have that first impression of it, and making sure, especially if you're finding content that shows up on a search engine or in an AI chat, is does it match? And a lot of times, for most advisors, it doesn't, right? So if you're looking at your analytics, the number that we look at a lot of times is like that bounce rating, like that number. If that number is high in a percentage, what that's telling us is they've come there and they've left. They haven't done anything. So the messaging isn't resonating with you. So
Yeah.
that's like everything is just, what's the next step? What's the next step? Where are they going from there? So, ideally, you want somebody to ask a question, come to your page. If they go from this to start a conversation button and book with you, that is the cleanest path to conversion, because you nailed it. Like, you delivered on the promise of what they were looking for, and they want to talk to you, right? And then from there, you'll also see people that will scroll down the page, right? So that's really key, is that first two sentences above the top pink one that's there, right?
Hmm. Like it's very interesting to even bring this forward now. Of we talk about it all the time. Of I help business owners. Well, there's a lot of business owners, right? It makes over 60% of the economy in Canada, and
Mhm.
even more so in the US. So let's really start talking about this. So when you even look at the language, for the founder who built the empire,
Mhm.
there's very different language that happens between a founder base, a new startup that has become successful, to
Mhm.
a maturing family business that has existed for a long time,
Mhm.
right? Totally different parts of language, totally different parts of problems that you will solve, right? So when you start looking at your business made you wealthy, who makes sure it stays that way? That
Mhm.
pulls at the heartstrings, right? Because you're a founder, you built the empire, and it's, oh my gosh, if you could see the blisters on my hands, it's not even funny, right? But the blood, sweat, and tears, and they are so protective of it. So you want to use that right language, and it totally feeds right into, right? The pink being the clear positioning, the quotable stuff, right? Who wants to make sure you stay that way? The founder who built the empire, right? So when we're looking at searchable, easy ones, business, wealthy, corporate wealth, government, transition, unexpected event. Those are those words again that go in the SEO that start happening, that we always confuse. What part, to me, and you pulled it out, and I always miss it too, is the part in the white, right? The numbers, the stats. They are really, really important to have for AEO.
Mhm.
Even the step 1, step 2, step 3, factual stuff that can be lifted right out and quoted,
That's right.
right?
Right. You want those citations. That's what you're looking for.
You're looking for, right? And this is, I've always been not confused. That's not the right word, but I've naturally been able to put words and content together because of our proprietary formulas that we use, that we've helped people, a lot of people being successful with. Pulling this out, and this actually is one of our prompts and our audits that we have within our program that we have built. So this is a report that we have built and we have designed right out of Claude to come back and really audit a website that we've built. This is 100% part of our program. So when we look at this part on the hero page, the 3 channels and 60 words. So again, really interesting to see that there's so much SEO that has come in the depth of the paragraph, but that part that we need to do more, I want to see more pink. I want to see more from a coach's perspective and a voice branding perspective. I want to see more pink come up. And the reasoning behind that, and my thought process behind that, is in this sea of sameness, it's very, very easy to build anything or to show up looking professional with automation, with AI. The more positionable, clear, and quotable, right? Your clear position, your taglines, because once shows up over and over, and now starts to become a geotag for you. And that's how I think you're showing up in AI, in chat, in Claude, in all these places, because your GEO has been repeatable and stronger. That makes
Hmm.
sense at all.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Okay. I have a hard time, again, I'm not the tech person, you 100% are, but my mind goes to that part of, okay, if we want you to stand out, let's make sure your phrasing, your language first makes sense to your ideal client, not the world, to
Hmm.
your ideal client and target market. So the more specific prompting you can give, the better, right?
Hmm. And the more consistent across all places you show up,
Mm,
right? Because these large language models, all the bots that are indexing, even Google, is seeing you show up in different places. And you know, if you say the same thing, you show up the same way across all those platforms, it's really telling it in a signal format that this is legit, right? You know, versus that person that changes their website every time they, you know, go for coffee with their buddy because their buddy's like, hey, look at my site. And now they go and try to mimic it and they don't change anything else, right?
yeah.
Right. You do the big work first, right? And that's, you know, when we said at the beginning, you know, we can build a website in minutes. Yes, technically you can. And, you know, you can go in and get a builder and it'll just ask you a couple questions and it'll give you garbage in there, but you can build a website, right? I mean, I could build you a shed in probably a day, but it's not going to be that strong, uh, right? Um,
Yeah.
right? Whereas if I had the blueprints and everything and know exactly where every nail needs to go and everything like that, it's engineering, right? That's
Yeah.
what it is. Um,
100%. 100. That's all prompting is, right? You're engineering the conversation. And Mike and I were having a good laugh, and he goes, you make AI sing. I can't believe the stuff that you make it do. And I said, well, partly I'm a woman and I over explain. And he started laughing. I'm going, but that's kind of the truth, right? I over explain. I prompt it a lot. And it really is a very detailed blueprint that I give it. And the reason why I can give it such a detailed blueprint is I have all those answers and all that information from our 3 months that we worked together, right? And then
mhm,
when I hand something like this to you, well, when I handed this to you 2 weeks ago, you
mhm.
just went, holy Dinah, right? Like you know exactly where to go and what to do. It,
Yep.
it's amazing. When looking at this one, and again, so the part that you're seeing on top, so that's the pages, right? The breakdown of pages. So when you see that, even just having those conversational pieces of you from your unique value proposition of who's your ideal client, pains, problem, needs, and or inner gaps, how you're different and or better, unique, and compelling, and the results and benefits someone will have by doing business with you, that gives all your copy and your content. That gives you all your pieces. So
Mhm.
when we pull out the problems most founders face, you built your wealth inside your business, and that's where it's most exposed. So it's not ever calling anybody out, but again, quotable stuff saying that is also where it's most exposed for the GEO,
Mhm.
right? And then what I liked about this and how I formatted it of a lot of times with high net worth and ultra high net worth clientele, advisors are fighting the accountant and fighting as in not, you're stupid, but it's that part of understanding the client's kind of stuck in the middle, the advisors on one side, the clients on the other side, or sorry, the advisors on one side, the accountants on the other side, and the clients in the middle going, who do I listen to? So we need to bring in language to make sure that everyone understands that we are a team. So by doing that, you show the trust and the complementaries, right? So the accountant sees strong retained earnings in the corporation, valuable real estate, business assets, they see investments, they see a well-structured operating company and the heavy cash flow to grow enterprise value. So they're like, yay, you're good. What the advisor sees and what's quietly missing, and again, searchable. So I put that in as AEO because what do most business owners say? What am I missing in my business? What should I watch for? So, what's quietly missing? Tax efficient access, corporate cash, liquidity to fund your estate later on, equalization of your estate, and key person. So, this little page is massive,
Mhm.
right? It's massive. Anything before I move on?
No, no, it's great. I mean, the one thing on the top there that was in the pink, um, Can you flip out? Yeah. So the part, and you'll see this through content, right? So that first part of you built your wealth inside your business, right? You're talking to the person that's there, and you're like, yeah, that's what they're priding themselves on, because that's where they're at in their head, right? And instead of the next line being something like, and that's where you're failing, right? Or that's
Yeah.
where the
And
big
you
problems are.
suck.
That's right. Where then you're beating them down. You're just addressing, something that they may have just not noticed, or
Yeah.
it was there, right? So in that copy side, it still provides that sense of urgency to make them lean in and want more,
Mhm.
but it doesn't make them feel bad about themselves.
Yeah. It gets confusing, and that's why I love guiding and being able to, or encourage anyone, let it be me or someone else, but have someone guide you and push back when you are going through your unique value proposition thing, because that pains, problem, needs, or gaps, and sometimes I have the Freudian slip and say inner gaps, but we start talking about the bad stuff right away, and we think we need to do disruptive anger clickbait marketing, and that doesn't have people take action. You get eyeballs on your content and stuff like that, but it is not giving them and not encouraging them to take action. You're there to help them. So there's a big difference between shaming someone, and we do that a lot without knowing in financial services. We really do. All great intentions, but we shame without knowing. But if we just point out something and just saying, okay, you've done something awesome, high five, like, but you got this exposure here, can I help you with this part?
Yeah.
Right, it's really, really good. So it's a wonderful, wonderful rhetorical remove. So build, expose, bringing those words and that language together. It's a signature framing. It really is a really good signature framing. And again, AI picks up these repeatable structured patterns. Our brains as human beings run on patterns. Human beings created AI, and they're going to notice and understand the patterns. That's just the way it goes, right? That 2-column comparison. So again, that's that factual part. So it's really nice to see it's structured on a page, and they like snippets of it. And then the SEO, the old words, right? Tax at death, corporate cash, estate equalization, those little words that we kind of throw in the SEO in websites, or you get bugged by someone who wants to fix your website overnight and saying, I'm a SEO optimization expert. And it's like, all they're doing is just putting words into.
And in most cases, that's just AI
That's
that's
just
reaching out to you even, right? So
So I want to help you guys understand, if someone's reaching out to you saying your website is, I almost said sucks. Well, I'm going to say sucks, right? And you got to fix this, and you got to do this, and you got to do that. There's a wrong answer, a right answer, and then there's the truth, right? And where it all lies in. I want you to make sure that you're building your website to speak to your ideal client target market, that it's doing the job you want it to do, that it's meant to do, not for everybody. Right. So the 3 pillars. So this client, we have 3 words that we use, and there's some Latin words and stuff like that. He's an ex-rower from Cambridge. Very, very wonderful conversation around elite family and honor. So merit, mind, and family. We talk about those 3 frameworks and the 3 pillars within his business. So planning worthy of what you've built, right? So ABC Company exists for those who see wealth as stewardship, not accumulation. These have, oh, Mondays, 3 pillars, 1 standard, right? So merit, you've earned your success through discipline and sacrifice and intelligent risk, right? Mind, founders think differently. Family, everything comes back to the people you live for. If this isn't a snapshot and a profile of a high net worth founder level business owner, right? And again, all quotable stuff. This is GEO, all quotable stuff. Anything before I move on?
no, you
I
got
only
it.
have 5,000 slides today. I got really excited about it. So pillar sections rarely see and move the SEO needle. They really don't. This is where you get really specific. You get very, very specific on your brand, how you are different and or better, unique and compelling. Right? So using your phrases, using all that proprietary stuff that you want to protect is in here, right? It's really big. People fight over copyright or, your words or your trademarks or stuff like that. One of the strongest part in the beginning is, okay, how long have you been using it? How long has it been showing up in your copy, right? How
Hmm.
reasonable is it, right? Oh, the statement quote. I love statement quotes. The right planning doesn't just preserve wealth, it protects what matters most. Nobody buys a financial plan. No one goes seeking a financial plan. They look for the results for it. That's what they're looking
Hmm.
for. So that's what we need to speak to, right? So when we look at ABC planning is not a strategy for strategy's sake, stewardship born from excellence, it's a reflective mirror, not a megaphone. So you and I work together, and we're also giving him another stage of some educational content and some posts.
Hmm.
Like even right here, just looking at this, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 posts, quote posts. So pulling it out and saying that, like just looking at it, a static post of reflective mirror, not a megaphone. This is what we do, right? Stewardship born out of excellence. Pulling out the one-liners that are in your website copy, that are in your social media, and that come naturally out of your mouth when you are speaking and when you're having a conversation. And that's a big important point that we utilize when you're spending the first 3 months with us in the beginning, pulling all this apart. We aggregate all those phrases and words that you say over and over without knowing because it's so natural to you. So the moment I sit and listen all the time and I start pulling all those pieces out with also coaching, my training, and the help with AI, the way we utilize it, I've got your voice and I've got an amazing geo real estate. Incredible, right?
Hmm.
So don't waste the time on generic statements. So I get really excited about this. So I just want to make sure I don't go rambling all the way through this one. Is there anything you want to add?
What you mentioned about like getting the authentic voice, and I'm big on congruency, and everything being consistent. Coming from a video background of, making sure that everything matches, and I'm one of those people that watch a movie and be like, wait a minute, that thing's in the other hand in the previous scene, right? So, um, whether you're an advisor that just goes off referrals, or you're going and doing some lead generation, running ads and getting calls booked and everything, where the big breakdown happens is when the moment it goes from the digital assets to you on the call.
Mm.
And suddenly people are speaking to you, and there's a disconnect because the way that you're speaking isn't matching the content further up that funnel. Right. So the work that you do in those first 3 months to pull that out, bring those phrases, those words further up to the first touch point, makes that transition so much easier, and you end up converting and closing more deals down the
Oh,
line anyway, right? Because it feels like I already know you, right? Like you've already been talking to me, even though we haven't actually spoke, right?
yeah.
And that's when you run into that cost of when you get siloed, agencies, specialists, or whatever, that don't all work together. They're just running off of libraries that other people have used or that they've done with other people, and it's not you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That's, oh my goodness. That cost analysis breakdown that we've been doing for 6 years
Mhm.
and tracking and looking at. And people questioning, saying, okay, at worst case scenario, you guys have had a $40,000 year over year growth. Worst case, right? And then going up to the six figures in the best case scenario. There's a reason why we bring all this together. We truly do. There is always a foundational line of an order of operations and how things need to go, but it needs to be formatted in a way of structure based freedom. So having this structure, we can give that freedom for you to have your own voice and say it. And that conversion rates are so huge. The moment it always happens. It's been doing this for such a long time. Everyone gets frustrated about the 3 or 4 month mark, right? It's like, Kim, what is this doing? Like, all these questions and all this stuff. And then I say, okay, let's do an experiment. I put together your first presentation. I'm going to put it up, and you're just going to present to me. So what I did, that, you saw
Mhm.
Ryan's recording, right? It's like, okay. And he'd never ever saw the PowerPoint before, the presentation before, and he almost nailed it completely the first run through because it's his voice, it's his cadence, it's his repeatable phrases, organized in a way that makes sense to get through to his ideal client. This is the stuff we don't talk about, right? The invisible work that is just so important, right? Oh, AEO friendly default. So here's all the stuff just looking at. So your retained earnings are one of the most powerful assets you are not fully using. So when we see number 1, accumulation, number 2, protection, number 3, transfer, AEO picks that up. So everyone wonders why here's the top 5, blah, 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 or the top 10, good or bad. AEO pulls that up right away. So because they want factual statement format. So 1, 2, 3 works very, very well in that because it's quotable and teachable. So that protection you've built, move wealth to the next generation on your terms. So very, very, very strong page on that one, on stating the opportunity. And then we just put, again, we don't need the emotional part in here. We need the factual part and the searchable part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is you telling me if I'm wrong or right. And I well, wait till you see the last slide. It's a fun one. I like it a lot. 3 answers, 3 snippets, right? So AEO, SEO. See, now you know why I did Old McDonald. Like when I was putting this presentation together, just EIEIO the whole time in my head. Okay, who we serve. Again, navigation bar at the top, right? Just as a reminder who's joining in with us or jumping in halfway through. Minimum mindset, not a minimum net worth. That is such an important part. So we say all the time, please stop putting $250,000 worth of investable assets, has over $100,000 worth of retained earnings and blah, blah, blah. That doesn't hit. And there's different parts and there's different ideas that have to come through. So again, going deeper, more human centric. This hits so well with him. Number 1, it's something he says a lot. It's something that I've said a lot too, and I noticed and recognized right away, and that's why we worked so well together. And it's that other part of understanding. There's this extra elite understanding that happens if you are trying to work with business owners, especially founder level business owners. It's a mindset the whole entire way. It's a different world. They do not think to themselves saying, I need to be more disciplined. They apply discipline somewhere else because we're all disciplined. We're just, some are disciplined at the right things and some are disciplined at the wrong things. So discipline's not the answer. It's the habits, how you show up, what you form, what the structure looks like. But just saying and not naming numbers, but just saying a minimum mindset. There is a specific mindset that does perform traits for success. And the smart people will see it. Read right through it, right? So that's that really interesting part to do. So again, the GEO reflective mirror, no fractional thinking, no skip steps. I loved that when I said to this gentleman, God, I almost said his name. I'm like, I'm going to go blunt. And he said, yes, do it. And I was like, yes, thank you. Like 100, like these are the terms. It's not rude. It's not arrogant. It's really actually engaging and forgiving and kind. I think there's a difference between being nice and being kind. And being kind is being truthful and factful, right? So when you get something like this from me, right, this page, you know exactly where to go, what tools will work, what won't work. You have a very good idea, don't you? Yeah.
100%.
It works so well. Works so well. So quotable section on the page. So when you are starting to build down the titles and kind of showing a little bit extra parts of, you need little quotable pieces, you need a little parts that you're pulling out. And would I be okay? I love this question. Would I be okay having this quoted in Forbes as an article about my firm? Because they write a lot of these articles about the cottage, about the business, and about the kids, right? They do that all the time. So this is the absolute gold standard to look at. So when you have those statements again at the beginning, don't let your family choose between the memory and the mortgage. God, I love my stuff sometimes. I'm sorry. I'm so proud of it. I really, when you're a teacher and you see someone reflect in the copy, content, and the work, and they energize, I'm so proud of it. How about you? Like, I just love it.
Oh, I love it too. Like it's amazing. Like, even when you read that line, like it still hits me too. And I'm like, wow, like like I feel that, and I've actually had those thoughts myself, right? And that's what you want people to be like, what did you just say? Like, wow,
Yeah,
like
right.
that's the stuff, right?
The ones that sit at that high level stuff when you're going to a group conference or a training session or something, and they ask that question of, you want to ask them what keeps you up at night. I'm going, okay, let's go into the client seat. I just met you. You're a dude sitting across from me, and you just creeped me out because you said, "What keeps you up at night?" Like that just I hate it. Most people can't, like, it's creepy. It's weird. But it's this wonderful, interesting part of just saying, Sean, you've talked about your family and your cottage and your dreams, and I don't want to let you have to choose between the memory and the mortgage. So here's my suggestion. This is what I see. Totally different, right? Totally different. Succession without a fire sale is a plan, not a coincidence. So I love messing around words that actually, again, have people think, because when they first read this, they're like, succession without a fire sale. What do you mean is fire sale? They're not on a plan. Like they get kind of confused, and then they got to pause and stop and reread it. So the more you can make someone think, because that is really connected to your ideal client target market. You want founders who are thinking, who built their empire, who are going to actually engage in the educational process, because that's what they want. They don't want to do the work and have to do that, but they want to be part of the process, right? And equal does not mean sorry, that one just, it's so interesting on how founders, business owners, families, one child's going to run the business, one won't be able to do it. So when you're having, again, these very frank statements, and you have it in your copy and you have it in your conversations, it's incredible, right? It's absolutely incredible, right? The estate questions. 6 questions every founder should be able to answer. These are the big AEO ones. And I think this is one of the most powerful slides or pages or part of content, period, that a lot of advisors skip over. So we see warnings out there, we see posts out there of this advisor's bad, that advisor's bad, this is bad. And I don't think advisors realize they're hurting the industry, not the advisor, the industry. And so the reason why I say that is because the everyday client doesn't understand the difference between the different distribution models or people or anything. It just kind of gets all balled up into one wax. So the better thing to do, again, take the positive mark and educate and teach the advisor, right? Educate and teach your ideal client target market, to give them things to think about or to ask themselves, or to help them find the right advisor, right? So that was that idea behind it here too. And when I look at this, I see this as a drip campaign.
Easily.
Easy, right?
Yeah.
Right? So when we're building this out for this group, I put it this way of, here are 6 email drip campaigns that go throughout the filter that we're sending out to clients. It's all here, right? That big work in the beginning, it filters through everything.
Even that small change of using the I in the content versus the you, versus letting them ask themselves the question by reading it versus listening to you tell them the question, right? Like in doing a lot of work on the front end, even in ads and stuff, a lot of these ad companies like Meta and Google, when you use the word you, you're calling somebody out, and you actually can't advertise, especially on financial situations with people. Like, you cannot say, like, do you have this financial problem, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It won't go through that way. So just getting used to not saying you a lot, and those I's in this type of stuff it's powerful, but it's also very compliant.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that part, and I always phrase, so we were taught before of, don't say we when you're having content or posting content, say you, to speak directly to them. But it's even more so by learning that too, of speaking to the eyes, right? And understanding, and it is, the more you can get people to read something and it hit them directly, it's great. Because again, we have to think about this whole entire process. We have the advisor, that is extremely busy, has an extremely busy life. They have so many things pulling at them, right? And how do we take away that tension and that busy and that worry to give them a process and structure that is in their voice, in their language, that feels comfortable, that makes sense to them, that we can map it out in the right order, and it's the things that they would say. It's so strong, and it's so, and I'm the advisors who understand this and that are going to embrace what we're doing, you're going to be the successful ones, 100%. I wish I could put a promise or a guarantee on our program. I can't, because it means you have to show up, and I can't promise and guarantee you. But if you show up, it's the way it goes. So number plus name equals AEO friendly. So planning done differently. Again, love these little words. We're going to have a strategic conversation. We're going to set up the whole system roadmap, and then we're going to have an ongoing partnership. Everybody wants to know, where are we going? What's the curriculum? What's the path? What are we doing? Right? And it doesn't have to be this huge dissertation of this and that and the everything, right? I don't want a big over explainer. Your ideal client is just going to be looking at it saying, okay, what does this mean? I'm going to see you, right? So the strategic conversation, the whole roadmap, and the ongoing partnership. And you've seen the other assets that I've built for this group. Like we have the onboarding client journey. We have a 5-series educational journey of what is CI for business owners, personal insurance versus corporate insurance, key person insurance, seg funds versus mutual funds. I have this whole entire educational series built for them in their voice and in their tone, which we can also bring in and do even more so. So it's that 2 channels for free. So being able to do this and have that step 1, step 2, step 3, as I said, that named and title, it's 100% AEO optimized, right? The framework adds a little bit of geo value, but having that whole roadmap and stuff, again, we want that. I think most people, I don't know the stats and I don't know the number, and it's maybe I'm going to geek out and look, but I wonder if AEO is the one that's pulling the strongest right now.
Some research for you.
Look at me, dork. I'm going to get all dorked out again. Like I need to research more stuff and go down rabbit holes. Hey. So founder photo. So we do a little photo of the advisor and all that kind of stuff, and having something quotable. So I love you all dearly. I love that you love your 2.75 children and your dogs and all this kind of stuff, and walks in the park and your favorite color is green. I love that. Good for you. Make this short and small and simple about the founder, about you. And it's truly important. It's that flag in the ground statement. It's your really strong piece of what you believe. So I want to be the first call when things are going great and when things are getting messy. I built ABC Financial for business owners who think beyond the next fiscal year. My role is to bring people, conversations, and clarity that lead to opportunity. That's one founder 100% speaking to another founder, because this financial advisor lives and acts and thinks like a founder. So his language is very natural to be his ideal client. So I talk about niching inward all the time. This is what I mean, my friends, right? It's huge. That to me makes me feel better about a more relaxed of, wow, I want to be the first call. I'm like, I trust you. I trust you. They want to be, because money's scary. Finances is scary. Death is scary, right? So real human, picture of it, named quote, here's your authority, right?
Yep.
Right? Big. Building blocks. It's nice. Call to actions. Most of them are a throwaway. What do you think of call to actions?
For one, they need to be consistent in there. And, the idea of that conversation, if that's the goal, that needs to be throughout the site. And there are many times where you see the wordings different on every different page, and they may go to the same place, but it's just not, it doesn't flow that way, right?
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. I noticed that AI, when I pull this in to put it through the skill that I built, for us in our proprietary stuff. It switched this a little bit. One conversation, no pitch, just clarity. So it was like, ugh, we had some really good wording there. But there's something that I've been wondering too, and I'll go on to that part too. But how we work, right? So how the ABC company works. Again, here's that flag in the ground statement, right? That GEO absolute quotable stuff. That is their clear positioning. Referral and introduction only. We integrate what others fragment. We never skip steps. And the conversation is ongoing. So I cannot tell you, I've been in the financial services industry for 3 decades. There's a reason why I'm just a strong authority on this and understand, because I know what has happened in head office. I know what happens with advisors' businesses. I know what your assistants go through. I know what the marketing team goes through. I have been and integrated it all. And when you say something just as important as we integrate what others fragment and we never skip steps, advisors, how many times has some clients come to you and shopped a deal, shopped a plan, shopped a quote with you? And you get this plan and you're like, okay, we got to beat it. And I'm like, no, you don't. If a client builds you or brings you someone else's work, do not touch it. Go do your own work right from the beginning and stand very firm to that. Psychologically, right? It'll help you. We want you to give your biased advice. You want the client to buy into your version, your opinions, and you want to buy into theirs. So why ruin that whole entire relationship by cleaning someone else's mess up? Okay? I don't do it. If someone comes to me and says, gone to see this girl about niching and branding, I'm like, you go to her then. If you like her, you go to her. I am not going to compete, and I'm not going to redo her proposal. I don't want to see it. I don't care. This is what I'm doing. And there's something that is so wonderful in that calm confidence, right? It's really big. Call to actions. I like calling them actions of ask a question or have them try something. So when I have that part, right? If those 6 questions stayed with you, so it goes back to those 6 questions that came before, and this is all on that one page, that's usually a sign a conversation is worth having. I love that, right? I love phrasing things that way, right? Request a strategic introduction or download the 6 questions. I'm going to be really interested with the download, how when we finish building this, because this is now passed off to you. We have the meeting on the 14th. I'm be interested to see what happens there, right? Really interested. So download title alone can rank. So when there is that, again, that GEO, so 1 conversation, no pitch, 4 positioning principles, referral only, integrate, massive stuff, massive stuff. Oh, the footer. I don't know why. I don't pay attention to this. And I never understood that copyright, when the company, make sure you change it every year. I used to think of, no, don't ever change it. If I built the website in 2020, I want them to know that I've been established since 2020.
Right.
Not that the copy is new, right? And I never understood that. I never understood that at all.
Yeah, you'll see some that'll hyphenate, like from
Yeah.
their inception to whenever.
Yeah, I kind of like it's funny how your website becomes, I think of it as a nice outfit, right? It's something that you're proud to wear. It's got your style, it's got your sensibility, right? It has to fit. So I've got our website has to get redone. I haven't had time at all. And I almost want to put a dash in there, right? Because my company's been around for 6 years, but in June, the approach is 5 years old. And so we're planning to do something really cool for that. But I almost kind of want to put a dash in between there because I don't know, makes me feel interested. There was part 2. So the NAP, name, address, and phone, all that wonderful jargon we do. It is so important to have. It really is important to have. I didn't realize it was that important. It really is. And then on here, we have that Latin motto of his that is on there. That, again, important. So here's my last 2 slides that I love. And this is what I send to Sean about kind of when we put this through. Let me go. Start at the beginning. When you start with us, we look at your website, we audit it, we tell you what's strong, and then we tell you what's not. Whenever I build, I also litmus test it afterwards, making sure that everything that I've put on before I hand to Sean has been addressed as strongly as I can with what is in my realm and my team's strength. So when we're looking at this page hit really high, really strong. All of ours do. And it kind of makes me happy. I'm proud of us. I'm really proud of us. But again, it's that 3 months work we do right in the beginning. They hit really strong. So what's working? High terminology and the footer. Actually, I'm going to shut up. Sean, what do you think about this? About what's working? What do you, when you're kind of reading this over and looking at it?
It's you know, when you see something, you're like, this is it. Like this is exactly what it needed to be that I could never get to, like that kind of feeling. And I don't think you can clearly define it in words other than it's a feeling. And we see this when, you know, clients either review the website or they look at a slide deck or they present a slide deck for the first time, right? It's just so natural. It flows perfectly to that. And that's what it is, right? It's all down to that, you know, the person that's visiting your site. You want them to say, this advisor, they get me, right? This is the person I want to work with. It's in there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I love because the way I built our vaults and the skills and all the pieces in there that we're putting and prompting everything together of auditing a website before and after, you know, the strong, the very strong, and the excellent that's coming through here. My goal, I want to be SEOs. It's high level. That's the best way to say it, right? It's high level. I don't know if I'd spend as much attention here. I don't think I would, because in my mind, if your AEO is really strong and your GEO is really strong, naturally your search will start to be, because the words that are searchable will complement the strong phrases that are you and quotable.
Right.
In my brain.
Yeah. I mean, the organic search results are further down the page now because the AI summary is at the top, and then the frequently asked questions are down, and then there's the ads that are below that, and then it becomes the organic stuff. So a lot of people aren't even making it down that far, right?
No, they're not. They're definitely not. So yeah, I love it how things, and so I love giving this to the client too, because there's something important that we do. Everything we do and go together, the 3 to 4 months that we take to get through all of it, you're absolutely rewiring and recording over the old tapes. We're giving you permission to show up in a certain way, very bold, very strong, right? When we've gone through this whole entire presentation, there's lots of things that you don't see in the average financial advisor's website. You and I have been doing this for a long time, and we've been part of financial websites for a long, long time, and they all look the same. They really all look the same, right? People make fun of the nautical themes, and I'm going, well, I like a nautical theme if the whole website talks about it, right? If it makes me feel and helps me tell the story and understand. And that's why we spend so much time with Story Labs and helping them understand and tell a story. But this part I love too, of giving these 2 slides to the advisor and their team, because the more and more we can partner and show and say, this is who you are, this is how awesome your stuff is, the greater ownership that you will have. Absolutely. So this is the part, easy wins and what to add next on. So the page is really strong already. It's come through. And if you want to do fine little tweaks. So these are those tweaks of, as you were saying before, you go out for lunch or coffee with a buddy, and then you run back home and you're changing things. And then next week you're changing things. Give it time. Give it time to kind of sit, and that you can test and you can do things. You and I A/B test some stuff like that too. But this is the let it work for a while and then bring it back. So after 6 months, I would start looking at this, you know, some of the things in here, right, to being able to do. But even it says no phone number visible. The advisor doesn't want their phone in there, right? So when you have these people that are pitch slapping you on LinkedIn or wherever saying, hey, I'm going to build your website, or your SEO sucks, or whatever, there's method to your madness. There's a reason why you don't have things done in there. So stop listening to those outside people and those outside voices. There's a reason why you've done something a certain way, right? I don't understand what this is. What's JSONLD? What's that?
It's JSON. It's just a coding thing. So the schema markup is telling, you know, the search engines when they come and index the site where things are, right?
Okay. So, phew. Overhead. God. ABC Alphabet Soup. It's really interesting. He doesn't want any credentials on there whatsoever. right? So again, it pulls things out saying, hey, maybe you should do this. The client himself does not want that, because these certain type of founders, the ideal client target market that he works with, they do not care about that at all. So it's really interesting when you are seeing a summary or you're getting some feedback, always challenge the feedback or think it through. If you're prompting, if you're doing any of those things, absolutely push back, think it through, right? So I love this one. This was a really good one. So each section does the work for all three, which we want to do. So most just kind of pick one channel, and there's keywords and there's Google stuff and all that stuff. But this page that we showed you today is absolutely unusual because each section does the work of all three optimizations. And this is what every single one of our websites do. And then all our educational sites that we put back together, the newsletters that we point back together, the funnels, right? The songs that we make up for advisors that are so much fun, the Jenga Tower quizzes, like all these cool things that we get to do. I just got goosebumps. I love what we do, right? All these cool things that we get to do for advisors, you and I and our teams, because we know their voice now, right? So it's this model that we're showing everybody how different it is, right? What do you think? Today was fun. I talked a lot. I'm sorry.
It was
I'm
awesome.
excited.
I mean, this presentation, just to understand, even if you've been with us or you're watching the replay and you're going through and you're like, I still don't really like understand the technical stuff. You don't need to understand the technical stuff. You just need to know that it's more than just SEO now. And that's, most people are just getting still hit with like your website's not SEO optimized and all this stuff. And really it's not just that, right? There's more to it, which you've seen over the last 56 minutes.
Yeah. There's lots to it. And that's a big part that I want to stress the most. And this is why I spent my last 6 years honestly dedicating it to it, right? I want everything we do and everything we build and how we help the industry, the advisors, the firm is 6:30 in the morning before the world, right, gets a hold of your brain and all of that. I want you to know exactly where you're going, what you're doing, reflecting, helping, questioning, doing all those important things, having the discipline in the right area and focused in the right area so that you are absolutely successful, because we need you in Canada, in the US. We need you. We need advisors to give credible information and resources out to everyone. And AI jumping right to it, my friends. Don't do it right away. Even just if you're not going to hire us or someone else, rewatch this and just truly understand how to prompt and prompt a lot and get it right from the beginning, because Sean tells me this all the time, and I've found it. If you're building something, stop, think about it before you prompt, because you just prompt and correct and correct and correct. Right, Sean? It's a nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah. It becomes, you stray off that path too far. That way, right? And it becomes fragmented. And if you've ever played with AI and you keep trying to get it to adjust an image over and over again, like it becomes so hallucinated in there. Whereas if you're like, okay, I'm just going to do a new one and I'm going to define everything that I learned over this last hour of fighting with something like this, and gave it a better, more detailed prompt, you're going to get what you want.
Yeah. And I clear my memory first. So if you do get stuck in those, so when I was playing with Ryan's ebook cover, and the wife in the background got 3 arms, I was like, okay. Like his little Guardians of the Galaxy wife I started to create in the background. I erased the memory on it and restarted. And I think that's an important part too, of just remembering to kind of, clear the cache, clear the memory out, and kind of keep building. Oh, I could talk for hours on this one. Sean, I love working with you and your people. It is so much fun that it breaks my heart when you do all this big work with someone and you just give it to them and life gets in the way and they don't get it done. I am so confident with you and your team's ability that when I hand this to you, just saying, hey, here's the stuff, and we start working together, it's a blast. Absolute blast.
It's a blast. Look at us. So like right to 60 minutes almost. Like we're counting down.
I was worried. I was going to go over. I was like, ooh, we got 30 slides and Kimberly's going to talk a lot today. Okay, my love. Thank you everyone for watching. Tell your friends. Please like and subscribe on our channels. We want to help educate everyone, and just have a fantastic day.
All right. Take care.
Bye.